So the reason why I get paid to review and write these specs is not just for the purpose of making them more palatable, but also to make them more secure and accurate. So there are a lot of groups out there that will do broad generic specs that people can just put into their documentation, RCAD or master spec. Those are groups that are independent of master format, which is CSI's format structure. And they'll give you a really good cookie cutter setup to start your specs, but they are not the end all be all, and they're very easy to surpass and hard to defend because they're so generic. They don't cover enough information. Now, granted, some RCATs are really good, but if you really want a spec that is precise but also concise at the same time, that's where bespoke generated specs come into play. And so what I do if I get hired to write a spec is I'll actually tear apart the device and zero in on product components that make it unique to create what's called a spec lock, where if you put that spec on your documentation, it is very hard to change the spec afterwards. And it's very easy to defend because it says, okay, I have a maximum of 2 universes of DMX. Not every device has 2 universes of DMX, so that's easier to defend. But then you might get into the actual how much CPU power it has, how much RAM it has, because that also is a spec. Specs are specific. They're as specific as you need it to be, and that way, the more specific you are, the more secure your spec lock.